Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making Oreo stuffed donuts and glazed donuts. They are so light, so airy, and taste amazing. Let's get into it. So guys, here I have my flour, butter, egg, water, milk, sugar, and yeast. I'm using dried yeast, guys. So guys, to my bowl I'm adding in my flour and my sugar and my milk and yeast, practically all the dry ingredients I will be using for this recipe. I am going to mix this thoroughly and then go in with my wet ingredients, starting with my egg and my water and a pinch of vanilla. As you can see, not so much. If you're a fan of nutmeg and cinnamon, you can add that, but I don't really like those flavors in donuts, so I keep those out. So guys, at this stage I will be transferring this to my mixer because I don't have strength. If you're going to be kneading this by hand, then you want to do it for like 20 to 25 minutes, but with your mixer this should take roughly around 10 to 15 minutes. So guys, once my dough starts to come together, I am going to add my margarine now and continue mixing. Don't forget that all the ingredients are listed in the description box below along with the measurements I used. Okay, so please check that out. So guys, once you add your margarine, you want to start mixing, and I'm just going to mix this for 5 minutes and show you what it looks like afterwards. So guys, this has been mixing for 5 minutes now, and I just want to show you the consistency. It's quite wet and not holding its shape together at all, so we're going to keep mixing. So guys, at this point the dough is starting to come together, and I'm just going to add in 1 tablespoon of flour so that it can help it do just that. So this is the 15 minutes mark, and if you notice there are no dough sticking to the sides of the bowl anymore. This is how you know your dough is ready and good to go. So guys, I'm going to turn off my mixer and then transfer this dough to my work surface so that I can mold and shape them into donuts. So I floured my work surface a little just so that this doesn't stick to it, and I'm just going to try and mold this dough into a smooth ball and then cover and set aside to sit for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes guys, the dough is easier to work with and less sticky, and now I'm just going to be measuring out 2 sizes that I would be using for the ring donut and the Oreo stuffed donut. Now for the ring donut I will be using 100 grams each, and for the stuffed donut I will be using 60 grams for each. So I'm just shaping this into balls just so that it's easier to get the ring shaped donut from them, and for this you'll be needing a ring shaped donut cutter. Please use a donut cutter, it makes it easier. Okay, so guys, I'm taking one of the larger size, which is the 100 gram, and I'm just going to flatten this out with a rolling pin, not so flat, just enough so the donut cutter can fit and cut out the donut shape. Okay, and this is what you want to achieve. You can either set this aside like this. I just like to widen the hole a little bit just so that when they rise they don't close in on it, and I'm just using a piece of parchment with sprinkled flour to set this aside. You can also use a tray and sprinkle a lot of flour on it, but that consumes way much flour and nobody has money or time for that. Okay, so now for the Oreo stuffed donut guys, we want to use some Oreo biscuit or any chocolate biscuit you like, and then you want to take the smaller ball and make a hole, sort of like a well, and then insert your Oreo biscuit. I'm using 2 Oreo biscuits for this, and you want to pinch around the edges and pinch out, sealing it off totally, and then smoothing it out. I forgot to show you guys how the under looks, but you want to be sure that there are no cracks or holes that would make this thing burst open when you're frying. Okay, so just like the ring donut, I set it outside on top of my parchment paper, and that's it. So guys, when we're done molding the donuts, I'm just going to cover this and let it sit and rise for 30 minutes, then we can get frying. So I've been heating up some oil here, and guys, for donuts you want to be sure you're deep frying, and I just did a flour test, which is just sprinkling a little bit of flour onto your oil to make sure that it's hot enough to bake your donuts. And after this, I am just putting in my donuts now slowly. And guys, if you observe, the oil is calming down as I put the donuts. Like, the recent ones I'm putting are still bubbling, while the first ones I put are coming, quieting down. And this is what you want to achieve, to be sure that your oil is not too hot for your donuts, and they are starting to double in size. So you want to let this fry for 2 minutes on each side and then flip over. Yeah, and fry 2 minutes on the other side too. So guys, I forgot to mention that when you start frying your donut, you need to reduce the heat of your fire to very low, to low, the lowest it can go, just because when frying your donut, you do not want your oil to keep increasing in temperature. You want to keep it at a certain temperature so that you fry them evenly. And now onto the Oreo stuffed donuts, guys. I am just going to fry this exactly the same way I did the ring donuts, but these are going to be frying for longer. They are going to be frying on for 3 minutes on each side. So guys, after that is done, we're just going to set everything aside and get working on our glaze for the ring donuts. So guys, for the glaze, I'm going to be using some compound white chocolate and some dark chocolate. And now for the white chocolate, I'm just going to be using my knife to chop this up. You can also use a grater, but I am just using a knife because the chocolates were very soft. So while this is going on, I have been steaming my hot water. I've been steaming some water on fire because you need to melt this over a double boiler. Now guys, you want to be sure that the bottom of your pan can't touch the water in the pan. And at this point, I'm going to turn off the heat because this is white chocolate and it takes it doesn't take boiling water to melt. White chocolates are very sensitive, so they melt very easily. You need to watch it like a hawk because you want to be sure that it does not get burned. Like, it gets burned so fast, especially if you're doing this and not using a microwave. Okay, so guys, I kept on turning until it got to this point where the lumps are almost invisible. Now I'm going to take this off the heat. My video stopped recording, but I did exactly the same thing for the dark chocolate too. Okay, so guys, the milk chocolate has finished melting, and I let that cool while I did the dark chocolate. So now I'm just going to dip my donuts in face down. And just a bonus tip, you want to do this in a cool environment. So if you're in your parlor and you have AC, turn it on and do this in there, just so that immediately you do this and flip it over, the coolness of your environment hardens this chocolate right now so that it doesn't start to drip. But I did mine in the kitchen, so it kept dripping while it was sitting, as you can see, and that's not very pleasant. So guys, I was trying to achieve a marble texture kind of effect, and this is what I got. Let me know in the comments what you think about that, but this is one quick way to achieve a marble effect. If you don't like that, you can easily just put your dark chocolate in a piping bag and drizzle all over. And yeah, I think this is all for the ring donuts. So for the plain white, I am just going to decorate with some shredded red velvet cake and some Oreos. Now for the Oreos, I am just rubbing two Oreos against each other to create like a lost dust kind of effect, and that's it. I'm done with the ring donuts. Now for the Oreo stuff, you want to get powdered sugar and pour into a clean nylon or a ziploc. Add your donuts and then jiggle this around. The goal is to coat your donuts thoroughly, and that's simply what you want to achieve. You could also use granulated sugar, but I prefer this powdered sugar, and that's it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to also give me a big thumbs up, and I can't wait to see you in my next